What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of the Fit Healthy Sioux Falls show. I have an amazing guest in store for you today, and she's sitting right next to me. We're going to have some fun. An awesome coach that honestly has a just wealth of knowledge in the fitness and health industry. Let's dive in today with the one and the only Coach Chelsie. Coach Chelsie, what is going on?
Not a lot. It's a nice rainy day out.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. We had a ton of rain in the beginning of summer, and then it kind of died off. My lawn is actually looking like it could use the rain.
Right.
So, we'll take it. We will take it.
Yeah.
Well, this is fun, and I've been looking forward to jumping on and doing our episode of Meet the Coach, because honestly, I actually have a lot of questions myself.
Okay.
So first and foremost, for any of those that don't know you, who are you? Where do you coach? And then we'll get into some more stuff. So yeah, your name and where you coach.
I'm Chelsie. I coach over at our Westside location. Was really privileged to be one of the coaches that helped open up that gym 2 years ago. So I really love being over there. I live on that side of town, so it's just natural to, be able to invite the people from that part of our community that I already know to come in and get fit with us.
Yeah. And it's wild because when we were actually looking at opening East first, which I don't know if you know that, but I think you did. Okay. Well, hey, newsflash.
Yeah.
I bought a second territory right. Obviously with FitBody being a franchise, I bought the second territory right, and I grew up originally on the east side of town, and then I moved to Brandon when I was 11. And so we were kind of looking at east side, and everything was pointing to the east side, and we were looking, and as we were looking, I don't even know what it was, but then it was one of the realtors I was working with all of a sudden said, well, have you ever looked at the west side? And I hadn't. I mean, the plan was eventually to go, east and west. And it just so happened to work out that west happened. And it's wild because being an east sider originally, the west side is like you said, a whole different community.
It is.
And I started driving out there and like houses upon houses. And funny because my wife and I, we had our first kind of meeting or meetup at Shenanigans in the mall.
Station 7.
Right? Now it's Station 7. And when they moved where they moved, everybody thought like, what are they doing? It was a field. But now you go out there and there's just a whole, like you said, other community.
And every day it's changing.
It's wild. Yeah. Continuous buildings going up, and it is very cool to see. But if we kind of rewind the clock a little bit, I believe you became a client of FitBody without your husband originally, right?
No, actually, one of the coaches, Coach Maddie, went to the same church as we did. And,
what church did you go to?
Well, at the time we were going to Church at the Gate, which is where they were at as well.
Yep.
And just knew her well. It's just a sweet, sweet person.
Yeah.
And she had invited us to come check it out. And
Very
honestly,
cool.
I was really content just doing my lifting on my own.
Yeah.
But I could tell my husband was getting bored with it. We'd get up, the alarm would go off, and I'd say, hey, are you coming? And he's like, I just don't feel like it today.
Yeah.
And so I knew something needed to change for him because it was important that was something we still did together. So I said, Maddie mentioned that she's coaches at this gym in Sioux Falls and that we should come try it out. Let's just try it and see if maybe that gets your interest back into, getting active again. And so we made the trek to Central from way out west, and he fell in love with it, which shocked me because he was not a cardio guy. I really thought forever and ever he would just be lifting. And so I remember he struggled with that first workout, and I thought, oh man, this is not going to be
This isn't going to be
him.
Good.
But he got to know some people.
Yeah.
And it was actually funny to me because I was usually the one who would get wrapped up in conversations. Yeah. And all of a sudden the workout would be over and I'd be saying, we gotta go. We gotta go get the kids up for school and get them out the door. And he's sitting there chatting with some new friends he had found. And really speaks volumes, I think, to our community.
Yeah.
In both locations, but
Yeah.
he was like, I think this is what I want to keep doing. And so
Yeah.
we kept at it. And then soon you guys announced you were opening the Westside location.
Yeah. I love that. And that's awesome because there's so many moving parts. And as the gym has grown, my role has shifted and is continually shifting. And obviously being the owner of the gym, you have to just go into the role that the gym and the business needs at the time. And at that time, I wasn't super involved. And so I didn't know exactly how you guys started. Cool. And oddly enough, I actually ran into Maddie just last weekend.
Yeah.
She was at Axel's birthday party,
fun.
Coach Aqua, ex-Coach Aqua's baby.
Right.
And it was just so cool to see her and to know that she invited you guys. And I even left that birthday party just a couple weekends ago. And I thought to myself, and I talked to Mel even, I was like, one thing that I can honestly say that I am proud of, no matter what, is the relationships that happen at FitBody, whether the clients stay clients at FitBody or not.
Right.
There's relationships that are being built that they'll change your life. And I do think, and I say this often, I'm going to continue to say this, I think that life is a team sport. And I think that you need an amazing team. You need friends, you need connections. But I knew, though, that you and Darren obviously were coming, and we ended up working out often together at the same time slot. I may have probably even been one of those ones that held Darren up. So if your kids were ever late to school,
It's all good.
My apologies. But I kind of knew or somehow seen that there's this gal that coaches Pound or instructs Pound. And I was like, I don't really know what Pound is, but I kind of knew what Pound is. And then come to find out, like, you're one of like the main Pound instructors in Sioux Falls. So for anyone that doesn't know, like, explain what even is Pound?
We call it a rock out workout.
Rock out workout.
Cardio drumming. It's a 45-minute choreographed drumming simulated class.
Yeah.
We go song by song, about 11 songs through. A lot of different muscles get worked.
Yeah.
Oftentimes people will say, oh, that must be a great arm workout because they're visualizing drumming. And I said, yep, just come and try it. And oftentimes they are very pleasantly surprised that their legs are what they work the most, but it flies by because it's great music. You're so focused on making the movements. And then, just it's contagious too. I think.
I mean, I finally went to my first Pound. I've been invited by you many times over the last several years to come and try one. And I don't know if it's just maybe I'm busy or maybe I was like intimidated by it. I don't know what it was. Call it whatever we want to call it. But I finally got to one of your sessions or classes at Pound, and it was fun. I had a blast. My legs, yes. My hip flexors, yes. My core, yes. All the things. It was a really fun experience. And what's so fun too is group workout can be intimidating, no matter what it is. But what I have found, obviously, with FitBody and then with Pound, like, you're all there just to, one, get a little bit better, have fun, and move your body.
For sure.
Like, our bodies are made to move, right? How long ago did you find Pound?
We just celebrated. My friend Amber and I were trained at the same time, but I had found it just a little bit over 5 years ago.
Okay.
I used to watch the show This Is Us.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever watched it.
Trying to think.
But there was an episode where one of the characters had to go away to basically what they were calling fat camp.
Okay.
She really needed to focus on losing some weight. And in this episode, she's at this retreat and she went into a session and it was a Pound class.
Oh.
She was seated and she was just drumming. And I remember sitting there thinking, I have been teaching fitness for years and I've never heard of this. So I instantly went online and Googled Pound. And this is pre-COVID.
Yep.
So every opportunity to get trained, you had to travel somewhere around the country.
Yeah.
So I reached out to them and I said, hey, we don't really have this in my state.
Yeah.
If we were to have a training here, what would that take?
Yeah.
And so we worked that out, and
Yeah.
I was able to host a training that I think there were about 10 of us
Yeah.
from all over. People from other states even came for it. But I'm really one of the few that still teaches it in our area. My friend
Yeah.
Amber teaches it in Canton, and she's amazing as well.
Yeah.
And there are a few other gyms that have it sporadically.
Yeah.
But saw it on a TV show, knew that it was something I wanted to try, something
Yeah.
that we didn't have in our area.
Yeah.
And before COVID was wildly highly attended.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I'm seeing that it's starting to pick back up though.
I
Like
do feel that as well.
Definitely.
People are starting to realize that working out by yourself is not nearly as
Yeah.
effective as being in a group of people.
And I feel that COVID obviously changed so many things,
Mhm.
but one of the things that it changed was that isolation.
Mhm.
And I feel that it's taking longer than I thought that it would, but people are finally realizing that we need to get out from behind the screens. We need to get out from behind our desk, working out by ourselves, doing things isolated, and have that connection.
More than ever.
You can go only so long as a society, a community, as a world. You can only go so long until you realize, hey, we were not created to be isolated. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that at FitBody, more and more people coming every time that you host a pound, because a lot of times you do it at a church, I believe. Is that like your main spot that you do it, or a church and a brewery?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of funny, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I truly believe
Jesus and beer.
you meet people where they're at,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and
yeah.
So, and even in my faith, I'm not only going to go to churches to meet people, but
Yeah.
to meet all types of people
Yep.
who might be looking for fitness or for faith or
Yep.
for whatever it might be. So
Yep.
we do them in breweries,
Yeah.
pound and pour.
Yeah.
Some people choose to have a beer. Some people choose to have water.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome. And I see like the pictures that you post, they seem like they're being more and more attended. And so people can buy like a punch card, to that, or how do you purchase pound?
yeah, I usually charge a straight $10 per class,
Yeah.
but they can do a punch card, which will bring it down
Yeah.
to $8.
Okay.
So
Got you.
Yeah.
And when we have it at FitBody, it's like once a month or once a quarter. How often do we have it?
we've typically been doing once a quarter, but recently kind of doing that a little bit more over the summer as
Sure.
we've been doing some special
Yeah.
events. So
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
often as they want it, I'm willing.
Yeah. And the cool thing with that is if you're not a member at FitBody, you can come and attend that, and it's $10. And so, or they can also use, if they have a punch card for
Yeah.
you, they can use it at there also, like anywhere you teach it.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So you mentioned when you found Pound on This Is Us that you said, well, I've been teaching fitness for a long time. Let's dive into that.
Sure.
How long is a long time? Like what and what have you been doing for fitness?
Yeah. So my youngest son, who's 13, is when I decided that I wanted to kind of test the waters with this whole teaching a group fitness format. And so we lived in Faribault, Minnesota at the time. And I was lifting at a gym in that community. And I just approached the gal who owned it. I said, do you need any more help teaching classes? And I said, I've never done it, but I would love to try and learn how.
Roughly what year?
So he was born in 2011. So it's probably 2012.
Okay.
So 20 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I was going to say 22. 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Is really when I got started with teaching others in a group format. And so just did group classes, did my group fitness certification, and loved those 5 a.m. classes with them.
Yeah.
And then we moved back to South Dakota in 2014.
Okay.
And once we got settled here, again, connected with another gym and said, hey, I used to teach.
Yeah.
I would love to do more of that around here. And this particular gym was looking for a personal trainer.
Okay.
So I went ahead and got certified in personal training and took on clients at that gym in Hartford. And then I've also just taught at some other, did the Sanford Wellness Center for a while as well.
The Sanford Wellness Center kind of holds a dear spot in my heart.
Yeah.
That was the one on Oxbow.
Yep.
That was the original gym that I started my health and fitness journey. And so, I
was out on the Westside at the Family Wellness Center, but was teaching a couple classes a week, mid mornings after my boys would go to school, and I'd bring the toddler along. And at some point, it just became where I desired to do it more on a not maybe full-time basis, but regular setting. And so an opportunity opened up at Showplace Cabinetry,
Okay.
where they needed about 32 hours a week.
Okay.
And that's in Harrisburg. So it was
Yeah.
it was a bit of a drive for me, but I was their wellness coordinator. So I got to coordinate on-site fitness challenges, nutrition challenges, do
Yeah.
nutrition courses. And then they had a full fitness center at their manufacturing facility. So I taught lunch hour
Very
classes,
cool.
which many of like the office HR, executives
Yeah.
would come to, but some people from the facility would also join us.
That's cool.
I love that job. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
What time frame was this?
It's a great question.
Yeah. And if we're not right on.
Yeah, I wasn't there as long as I would have wanted to be.
Yeah.
I left to be a caregiver for my mom, but
Yeah.
I was there for about 2 years,
Okay.
I would say, before I had to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. I know there's a couple different bigger companies in town. I know Poet
Mhm.
also has like an on staff, or they used to anyways, fitness wellness coordinator. And I think that that's super cool because when you are active and you're fit and you're moving your body and you're working towards a better version of yourself, you're just more productive in life.
Right.
You get more done. You feel better about yourself. And for me, that's actually why I opened Fit Body.
Mhm.
was I lacked confidence and I wanted to build confidence. And I found that through health and fitness,
Yeah.
but through others, connecting with them at a gym.
Yeah.
And so very cool to see that. And I think there's like a little life lesson to be taught in what you're talking about. You went out and sought out the opportunity.
Mhm.
A lot of times I feel that we, as humans, we wait for opportunity to land in our lap.
Right.
Like we think that somehow it's just going to fall on us.
Right.
And this opportunity or this next best thing is going to somehow just be here.
Mhm.
But I feel that your health and fitness journey, career journey, has been one of seeking out opportunities
Mhm.
and putting yourself out there, being vulnerable,
Mhm.
knowing that rejection is an option.
Right.
Like the no answer
Mhm.
is an option. So did that at all play with your mind at all? Like, what if they say no?
Not necessarily. I feel like there are so many opportunities in any community. I mean, there's a gym
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Every kind of like a gas station, right?
Yeah.
So I sought out the ones that I felt that I would connect with or be
Yeah.
the right fit for, but knowing that if they say no,
Yeah.
I'll figure something else out.
Yep.
So
Showplace Cabinetry, the wellness coordinator,
Mhm.
has fitness. That seems like maybe one of your more prominent wellness jobs.
Mhm.
Have you had any other jobs in your career? Like what else is in your career path?
I was a daycare
Past.
provider.
Okay. Okay.
Before we moved back to South Dakota.
That was in
from
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Okay.
Our kids were tiny.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I had been a director of children's ministry.
Okay.
So loved being in that position, but
Yeah.
that kind of a income doesn't
Yeah.
really pay for childcare.
Yeah.
So I had to
Right.
look at what I was making and versus once our second son was born, what I was paying.
Yeah.
And it just didn't make
It
sense
didn't
anymore.
work out. Yeah.
So I decided to stay home and had some friends very quickly start to say, oh, would you be able to watch my kiddo while I go to a doctor's appointment? Could you watch
Yeah.
my kids while I do this? And found that I really enjoyed,
Yeah.
being in that caregiver role again. And
Yeah.
so just decided, you know what, I'm home watching these kids anyway. We might as well make it a daycare. And
Yeah.
we had a great time, but I had to close to be able to
Yeah.
move our family back
And
here.
that was in Minnesota, and you had it in your
Yes,
home.
I did.
Okay. Very cool. You mentioned kids. How many kids do you have?
We have 3 boys.
Okay.
Our oldest is actually starting his senior year tomorrow.
Ooh.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So my baby just
Yeah.
turned 18. And then we have another boy who is 15, going to be a sophomore, and a 13-year-old who will be an 8th grader.
18, 15, 13.
Mm-hmm.
All boys.
All boys.
Wow. Yeah, I've got 3 of my own, 2 girls and the youngest boy. And yeah, boys are rowdy. Boys are rambunctious.
When they're little,
Yeah.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah?
They'll chill out.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But they don't get any cheaper.
Yeah.
I'm just
No?
going to say.
Man,
They eat.
the girls don't either.
No.
Yeah.
They all
their
have
clothes and their,
Mhm.
but hey, I
Comes with the
feel
territory.
that's right. I feel that from what I do know of your family and of your kids, you've really been blessed with amazing boys.
They're good kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why, but I still keep on remembering that video of Darren and your boy wrestling on the lily pad.
Yep.
And I mean, Darren's a big dude. Like, he can hold his own, but I don't know. Your boys definitely were giving him a
massive.
run for his money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited for football season.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
So what sports are your kids in?
Seth is the oldest, and he's in football. So
Okay.
he's got that starting right. He's in the middle of it right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Our middle son is not sure that he'll continue to play basketball, but he's
Yeah.
been a basketball player.
Okay.
And then our youngest is also mainly focused on football.
Sure.
So-
Okay. Did you play any sports, Chelsea?
I did. I grew up in Parker, South
Okay.
Dakota.
Okay.
Small town America, class of like 30 some people.
Yeah.
So we pretty much were all in something, because
Sure.
if you're going to have a team,
Yeah. You need.
we needed everybody,
Yeah.
all hands on deck. So yeah, basketball, volleyball, track,
all the things.
all the things.
Okay, so very
Yeah.
active.
Yeah.
Have you ever, at any point in your life, struggled with health or fitness?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone through having 3 children as
Yeah.
well. And that is a journey in a woman's body. I remember growing up with a mom who was very focused on her journey.
Yeah.
Always trying different diets and different exercise programs. I remember being in the basement and we would do Taibo together.
Sure.
Because she loved her videos.
Sure.
Good old Billy Blanks.
Hey, that was an era.
It was.
Yes.
It was. So even back then, it just watching her go through her journey had my mind recognizing that, I need to take care of this body I've been given, whether it's through what I eat or how I move. So yeah, and I would say after my 3rd son was born, I was really curious about how to transform my body into that lean, muscular look.
Yeah.
I had been a runner. When
Sure.
our first son was born, I decided out of the blue to become a runner, and I was going to
Sure.
train for Grandma's Marathon.
Sure.
Our pastor, who was in his 60s, I believe, was training for a marathon. And,
Yeah.
and in my 20s, I thought, if he can do it, I can do that.
Yeah.
So I went from doing almost nothing to training for a marathon.
There you go.
Couch to whatever they
Yeah.
call those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically followed those programs. But I had been running and just not seeing and feeling the changes
Yeah.
in my body. And I didn't understand why.
Yeah.
So I did hire a coach virtually. She lived in Texas.
Yeah.
She gave me my strength lifting protocol and
Yeah.
my nutrition protocol.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe. She handed me the nutrition protocol and told me I was going to have to eat 1,900 calories to lose weight. And in my head, I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
You don't lose weight eating you lose weight eating 1,200 calories
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
just all the things that social media and that I had seen online. So I said, okay, I'll try it. We'll see how
Yeah.
this goes. So followed it I'm kind of a rule follower. I'm
No.
a little bit.
Hey, we need those people.
I'll do what you say, but I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it did work.
Isn't
and
that crazy?
It was incredible to see and feel how
Yeah.
when you follow a plan
Yeah.
and you eat the right things,
Yeah.
that your body does respond.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I think we need to dive into that a little bit
Mhm.
because I think that there is such a misunderstanding as it pertains to nutrition.
Mhm.
So many people, many of our clients, myself at times, have fallen into that belief that in order to lose weight, you need to eat less.
Right.
And I have found, I've owned FitBody now for almost 10 years.
Mhm.
And I have found hundreds, if not by this time, thousands of times that our clients will get better results when they actually more times than not eat more.
Right.
Because so many Americans are low
Mhm.
in protein.
Mhm.
They are deficient in it. And I tell you what, if you're not like tracking it, you're not even getting close.
Right.
Because everything you eat, like the goofy thing is like labeling and marketing.
Mhm.
Wow, they do a great job.
For sure.
But you'll grab something in it, like big, bold words, protein pancakes.
Mhm.
You look on the back of the box, 5 grams of protein.
Right.
Like compared to the 1 gram that a non-protein pancake, so you get 4 extra grams
Ooh.
in this protein thing.
Yeah.
And I think that is a true testament to what you said. You're living, breathing proof
Mhm.
that it worked. So help unpack this for a little bit for anyone that may, hear, hey,
Mhm.
in order to lose weight, you need to eat more.
Right.
Where did you heard that for the first time?
Yeah.
And your brain was like, no way.
Right.
Unpack that for us a little bit. Maybe help someone understand, like, what do you do with that? Because for some reason doesn't make sense. So how do you make sense of that? And how did you just decide to follow it, even though like it doesn't make sense in my brain?
Yeah. Well, number one, I had to trust that she was the expert, right?
Yeah.
She had done her research. She was trained. She
Mhm.
had done it before. She'd
Yep.
help other people
Yep.
have great results. But in my head, I had watched a mom who would do LA weight loss diets or these cleanses where she didn't
Yeah.
eat for days.
Yeah.
And yeah, she lost weight. So that was my only
Yeah.
training or knowledge of how to do this
Yeah.
before. Had not learned anything about adequate protein and balancing out my carbs and fats, in addition to how much I was moving my body, and how important strength training was to get those results
Yeah.
as well. So it is now fun to sit down with clients
Yeah.
at FitBody and give them their numbers and
Yeah.
have them have that same reaction
Yeah.
that I had so many years ago. I'll say, I know it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
And it might feel that way for a little bit, but your body will adapt, and
Yeah.
you're going to start craving the
Mhm.
protein foods, the rich foods that you're feeding it.
Yeah.
And actually just recently met with a boyfriend and girlfriend,
Yes.
and they're like, what? How much do you want? You seriously want me to
Yeah.
eat that much food? And just 2-3 days later, just they're feeling so much
Yeah.
better. Their workouts are going better.
Yeah.
20 sessions in from face to face, the boyfriend has face looks completely different already.
I love
So,
I
and
love
they're
it.
committed though.
Yeah.
That's the exciting thing about working with clients is when they're in it,
Mhm.
where I say to win it,
Yeah.
they show up with a mindset of, I'm going to do what you tell me.
Yeah.
I promise,
And I tell you what, like that's the thing.
Mhm.
We're all busy
Yeah.
with everything under the sun.
Mhm.
And the thing that I love, and I mean, obviously I'm a little biased. I own
Mhm.
FitBody, but the
Mhm.
thing that I love about it is like, well, let's take the guesswork out of what you should do for your workout.
Yeah.
You want to get a little more serious? Let's take the guesswork out of what you should do for nutrition.
Mhm.
And wait, also, did you know that you can actually eat the foods that you really enjoy in moderation?
Yep.
And like, I am a foodie.
Yep.
For sure. Burgers, fries, sweets, cakes, pies, you name it. I love it all.
Yep.
And I don't not get it. And to be truthful, Chelsie, I probably get it more than I should get it. But I also know when I hit a certain point what to do
Mhm.
to totally get to where I want. And I feel that we have this mentality in life where we're all just going through life.
Mhm.
We're not actually working towards anything.
Right.
Like we're just living.
Yeah.
And I think when you can decide that I'm done living
Mhm.
to just live, I'm ready to live
On purpose.
on purpose,
Mhm.
my best life, why I was placed here.
Yeah.
You can then start really getting fulfilled.
Mhm.
And so many times we seek to every other person or every other thing to get filled up.
Mhm.
And you can't.
Right.
You have to, I mean, we're both faith-based people, so I would say look to Jesus.
Mhm.
But if you're not a faith-based person, you have to work on yourself
Right.
and work on filling yourself up.
Mhm.
And I think so with you, with nutrition, realizing, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to eat more than I ever thought.
Mhm.
You, I believe, actually did competitions.
I did.
Correct?
Yes.
How many?
I did 4.
You did 4 of them.
I did.
In how many years? Like, was that?
My last one was in 2019, so I probably started in 2012. I'm gonna
Okay.
say it was before we moved back here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was doing those competitions was a huge step in courage
Yeah.
for me. I consider myself a very modest
Sure.
person, and so to present yourself,
Mhm.
in high heels and a
Yeah.
swimming suit on stage and pose and do all these
Yeah.
crazy things that are way out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I looked at it more as a challenge of getting out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
learning how to do hard things, how to be
Yeah.
brave, to show myself that I could do it,
Yeah.
and do it well.
Yeah.
So
4 of them. So I'm not super well versed. Like honestly, the only real knowledge that I have in competing
Mhm.
that way is just what I know from my best friend Mick.
yeah,
But there are different categories
There are.
that you can compete in.
Mm-hmm.
What is the category that you competed in?
I competed in the figure
Okay.
category, and I think the categories have even changed in the last few years. I think
Sure.
there's an added fitness category.
Okay.
But figure is what I was in. So to kind of like show where they're at, bikini is what I would say is not the lowest level, but at the first level.
Okay.
They're looking for more just toned,
Yep.
a little bit softer look, not
Okay.
a lot of muscularity.
Yeah.
But just showing that you have leaned out
Yep.
in equally across your body. And then in figure, it's another level up. There's they're looking for more muscle symmetry.
Sure.
You're posing all sides
And
of your
like,
body.
from side to side, like,
Yeah.
is this calf in comparison to this calf
Right.
the right muscle,
Yeah.
density and look?
Yeah.
I mean, it's intense.
And a lot of it, unfortunately, in my mind, comes down to how you pose. Because
Yeah.
if you know how to showcase your muscle
Mhm.
better than the person next to you, you're going to
Yeah.
do better.
Well, and Mick even said that too. He's
Yeah.
like he would, and I'm sure you did as well, like, practice
Yes.
posing.
Oh, it's a
Like
huge
you
part
need
of prep.
to. But
Mhm.
I finally went to one of his shows
Mhm.
and watched, and you could clearly tell those competing that didn't practice their posing as much and those that did. And what's crazy is as they were walking out on stage, you could just from their walk look at some of these people and be like, oh, they're going to do great.
Yeah.
Then they get to posing and it's like, wait a minute.
What happened?
Yeah, where'd you go?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Yeah.
So yeah, you taking that step and not only having to get your body into a certain physical aspect and physical shape, but then to learn how to hold it. And I remember talking to Mick afterwards, like it's a workout.
It is.
Holding that pose.
And doing it in high heels.
Yeah.
Not easy.
No. And
I
I'm
dare
like,
the boys to do that.
well.
No. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. But you did it. And not only did you do it once, you did it 4 times.
Yes.
Do you think that you'll ever do it again?
I'm interested.
Are you?
The last few years have been a challenge, just within family and personal things. So I feel like I need to, I think I'll know when I'm ready.
Yeah.
They have a class for those who are 40 and older called the Master's Class.
Okay.
AKA the old people group.
Okay.
So that's where I would get to compete this time, which I was under 40 when I did it last. So I am curious to see if I still have what it takes to get back on the stage and do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm getting there.
Yeah. So that might be in
the
your future. Right now at Fit Body Chelsie, what is your kind of schedule? Do you only work mornings? Do you only work nights? Is it kind of a mix? And like if someone was looking to come work out with you or take a session led by you, when could they find you?
I do go in a rotation between mornings and afternoons. So it's, I'm doing both of those schedules right now.
Yeah.
About 30 hours per week there.
Yeah. What would you say, because you've been coaching now for about 2+ years, what would you say is your favorite thing about being a coach at Fit Body?
I've always loved to see progress.
Yeah.
When somebody comes in on day one and they're doing push-ups with their butt in the air and just completely out of form, and to be able to work with them every single day that they show up, and to have somebody eager to learn how to do it correctly. But just yesterday I was coaching and somebody was on the floor doing push-ups and I looked at her and I said, look at you. Like, wow, what a difference from day one. And she just smiled like, I'm getting this. Yeah.
I'm doing it. And 2, the world puts a standard definition of what progress looks like. They put a standard definition of what success looks like as it pertains to health and fitness. But I feel that as it pertains to your health and your fitness journey, number one, there's no end point. And I think that's one of the biggest stigmas that we need to break. Because if you are doing health and fitness with an end point in mind, like you're already lost. You've already lost. And that's hard though, because that's what the world preaches. Do this next 21-day thing, this next, 6-week thing, do a 10-week thing, and then it'll be all better. But it won't. Like your life continues. And so, like you said, seeing that progress, whether it be push-up form or even just one of my favorite ones, the most really way to ever tell anything, but is when someone starts and you can just see their face, they're intimidated, they're kind of scared, they don't know if they really should be doing this. And the next thing you know, they're coming in with a smile, they're fist bumping, they're high-fiving people that they didn't even know a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And to me, like being coming from like low self-confidence, that to me just lights me up
Mm-hmm.
because I was that person
Yeah.
that walked into a room like, do I belong? Should I be here? And that's not a good feeling.
Right.
But we all have that when we start, but we can help push that comfort
Mm-hmm.
zone and help break you out of that. Let me ask you this. What has been, in your 2 years of coaching at FitBody, what has been some of your most kind of proudest moments as a coach? Whether that's even personally, on the team,
Mm-hmm.
as a business, maybe different events that we've done, or with the clients that you've worked with. When I say, Chelsie, in the last 2 years, what are some of the proudest moments you've had with FitBody? What kind of comes to mind?
I still remember when I was still over here at Central, kind of in my training
Yeah.
period. There was a gal who had came in brand new, and a lot of what you talked about, she didn't have confidence that she was, going to be able to do hardly anything. Kind of walked with her for a few sessions, and I remember she came up to me one day and she said, "I have to tell you something." What? So I did a push-up on my toes today for the first time.
It's huge.
So those moments really are huge. Or the non-skill victories that people have. I was playing with my grandkids and I could go for like way longer than I used to be able to. Or their clothes are fitting. Like, hey, I tried on this dress that I never thought I'd be able to wear again. And it actually fits really well. Or just they see pictures of themselves, right? So it's always fun when they feel connected enough to me to share those wins, to come up to me and kind of confide in me on how proud they are of themselves.
That's awesome. And being proud of yourself, it's a good thing. And you should do it. And you should celebrate yourself when you have a win. Let's kind of unpack a little bit of Chelsea's knowledge and maybe even to just honestly how you do it. You're a mom of 3. You're a wife. You live a very busy lifestyle like the rest of us. You've got kids in sports. One of the hardest things is nutrition.
Yes.
How the heck do you do it? Like, what is some of your tips that maybe work for your clients or even for yourself as it pertains to having a family and going to different sporting events? Like, what do you do to stay nutritiously nourished while on the go?
Sure. I think I learned a lot in that first stage of working with a trainer, and having a nutrition coach really pour into me. Help me see results from what I was eating. So I think over time, I have my go-to protein sources. I know how important it is, and I know how different I feel when I don't get that in. So as the one who grocery shops for our family, I know what I need to grab for that's quick and easy. I've learned because I tracked for so long, so diligently with the competition training. I'm really good now at eyeballing what a serving of protein is. So back then, I weighed and I measured everything because I wanted to do it exactly right. And I do encourage new clients when they're learning, it's the best way to know than to learn. So you won't have to do this for the rest of your life. Nobody wants to weigh and measure their food for the rest of their life, but it is an important step in learning so that in the future you can go to the grocery store and just know intuitively, I'm going to need this, this, and this week to fill the gaps.
Do you have maybe 2 to 3 items that are really low on the prep time or low on the effort scale to have readily available for protein sources? So what would be 2 or 3 protein sources that you kind of have readily available to yourself?
Sure. And of course, depending on people's allergies or dietary needs, they may or may not work. But cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, beef jerky, tuna packets. Costco is a godsend for a lot of protein options. They've got prepackaged, grilled chicken breast strips. There's just lots of things like that are pre-cooked. I consider fairly healthy,
Yeah.
that I know make me feel good, that I keep in the fridge or in the
Yeah.
pantry at all times.
Yeah. We actually have from corporate, Fit Body Corporate, they put together like a Costco easy meal prep guide.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is in the show notes of this show, we'll link that as well so people can have that as just a free gift to them
Yeah.
so that they can, I mean, meal prepping and having the right nourishment. You can work out every day.
Right.
You can go run yourself into the ground every day. But if you're not nourishing your body the right way, you're not going to see the results that you're looking for. And so I grab that guide, you guys, look at it. Easy. It's no cooking, actually. Like you said, Costco has all those things ready to go. But a lot of times we don't think of it. You know, the thing that I've been really enjoying is the gas stations nowadays are starting to have more healthy options if you look for them.
If you look.
You know, we've obviously, all of us, whatever age you're at, you've basically gone that age of having your go-tos. And we all operate out of a routine and we all operate out of convenience.
Yes.
But if you can break your routine a little bit, break your convenience a little bit, and realize that there are healthy options, that can then start being your routine and your convenience. And next thing you know, results are happening on autopilot.
Yeah. You have to go into a gas station with blinders on.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy.
No.
There's a lot of distractions.
No.
A lot of shiny marketing.
Yeah.
And our stomachs are just, you know, sometimes our brains.
Yeah. They have a brain of their own.
We have to use our actual brain. So, yeah, going to those sections where there might be some, you know, individual size cottage cheese or yogurts, going to the beef jerky.
Yep.
Sticking away from the sugary.
Yeah, absolutely. The sugars. Yeah, absolutely. You know, Chelsea, I think that there's been a ton that we have unpacked. It's been super fun just to kind of get to know your journey. No idea that you had a childcare business.
I did.
You know, no idea that you were a wellness coordinator at Showplace. So super cool to kind of get that insight. As it comes to mindset, mindset is one of the biggest things. And, you know, I've said this before and I'll continually say it. I don't think that it was by accident that our mind got put on the top of our body. And if you think of it, like, stuff trickles down.
Yes.
So if we can get our mind right and just let that trickle down into the rest of our body, I think that we can really do a lot of good in our lives. What has been some of the best mindset advice that you have gotten along your journey? That maybe you could share with our audience today. You know, some of our audience, of course, they're clients. And that right there is like one of the biggest privileges, to know that we've got clients that we get to pour into all the time. But others of our audience, maybe they don't know if fitness is right for them. Fit body or not, fitness is right for them. Maybe they don't know if starting a health or fitness journey is right for them. What would be some really good mindset advice for someone that just doesn't know if they can do it or if they have what it takes?
Oftentimes in the gym when I'm coaching, I'm encouraging people to use the strongest muscle in their body that they have, which is the 6 inches between their ears.
Yeah.
When the rest of the body starts to feel like it doesn't want to, that it wants to give up, that it's too tired, that's when we have to use what I call our mental muscle.
Yeah.
It's so important. And the mind is a far more powerful tool than I think any of us give it credit for.
Yeah.
You know, an attitude of gratitude is also what I talk to everyone about. So when we get in those moods of, I just don't want to do this today, I don't feel good, this is going to be, you know, I don't feel good, so the workout's not going to be good. You control 100% of how that goes with how you process your thoughts. And it's not easy, but to just turn those thoughts around instead of I have to, I get to. Being thankful that you have a body that can move, that there's an opportunity out there for someone to help you learn how to do that. It's the way we frame everything. And so if they're not framing it in a positive way, the body is going to respond. So the reason their body is feeling tired and feeling sore and not wanting to continue is because you're allowing your brain to tell your body that. The more you speak life to yourself and to others, I mean, positivity flows from that.
I love that. Training the mental muscle, making sure that every day you are working that muscle also. You know, and one of the ways to work it is when you know, like you said, attitude of gratitude. When you start feeling a little down, there is nothing better than shooting out 3, 4, however many gratitude texts
Yes.
to people in your group.
Yes.
And you're not doing it for a selfish reason,
Mm-mm.
but I'll tell you that you do that. If you shoot out 3 of them,
Mhm.
it's guarantee that within an hour or two, one of them is
Yes.
going to respond with something that you need to hear,
Yep.
with something that's going to be like, you're right, I do have this. And the world is a hard place, and we all are dealing with our different struggles. And so if you can remove yourself from your own pity
Yeah.
for just a little bit,
Yep.
share some gratitude, share some love,
Mhm.
it's going to come back tenfold, and you're going to be able to keep on going.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been awesome, you guys. Chelsie honestly is a gift to Fit Body.
Thank you.
I don't probably tell you enough, but the appreciation that I have to have someone like yourself on our team, what we do at Fit Body isn't possible without our team.
Right.
And so I just appreciate you, like I said, more than I probably ever tell you. It's awesome to have been able to get to know you more. And also to you guys, we just rolled out some new core values to our team. And actually just yesterday, I was meeting with our leadership team, and we were just kind of reviewing them or whatever and talking. And I said, one of the things that I just seen that totally lit me up is one of the core values that we rolled out is team driven.
Yeah.
Because when I opened Fit Body, I prayed a very specific prayer, and I said, Lord, if you are going to bless me enough to keep this business open,
Mhm.
bless me enough to have a team,
Right.
because I cannot, and nor do I want to do it on my own.
No.
And so I really wanted team driven to be one of our core values, our core focuses, and to see just recently the amount of effort that you put in without anybody asking to coordinate baby showers for our 2 Westside babies that are coming soon. It meant the world to myself walking into the Westside Fit Body and seeing clients supporting our coaches, supporting our team, your husband supporting you in your idea by helping decorate. So shout out to Darren for putting up and helping set up the gym. But I just want to give you accolades for that and let the clients know and really you know that it doesn't go unnoticed, and really you're changing more lives by just being yourself and living the way that you live. So be encouraged today. You guys that are watching, listening, ladies that are watching, listening, be encouraged today. And if you want to catch Coach Chelsie, there's also going to be a link down in the description where you can grab a free week, and you can go hang out with Coach Chelsie on the West Side. Ask her any questions you have. Pick her brain. I mean, she's got years of knowledge with fitness, and we want to pour that knowledge into you guys. So Chelsie, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We have to get rocking and rolling. We've got our next team meeting coming up, and so we're going to get to that. But you guys, hey, like, subscribe, share this episode. It's been such a pleasure getting to know Coach Chelsie even more today. And we will catch you guys on the next episode of the Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls show. Go out and be great today. Bye, you guys. See ya.